Let's all go.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. That didn't happen. Cut that out.
That is staying in. That's 100% staying in.
Hello, I'm Angel.
And I'm Ben.
And I'm Luca.
And
welcome
back to
Newbies.
Yay.
Incredible.
We're here with Luca Pizzoleo.
Yeah. Oh, you got it.
Hey.
Hey, let's go. We got the name right. Luca, it's great to have you here. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
So, Luca, you directed a film called O.C.D. Right? Conor wrote it, and then you directed it. How did this come about? Did he approach you? Is he your friend? How was this?
Yeah, I met Conor through my manager. So I met my manager through TikTok, and then he introduced me to Conor. And then Conor and I, we had met on Zoom, and it was kind of one of those LA things where you don't know if you're ever going to talk to this guy again.
Yeah. Right.
But he ended up inviting me out for like a pint like a week later, and then we went to a bar, and like 4 or 5 drinks later, you kind of get deep with somebody.
Yeah.
And he explained how he had suffered with OCD his whole life, and it was something that I have also suffered with. And so he kind of explained to me, he's like, I've always had this idea about what if all your intrusive thoughts became a reality, and it like immediately stuck with me. So that was the kind of like genesis of the idea. And then I went home, immediately was thinking like robbers, house blowing up with the girlfriend in it. And I pitched it back to Conor, and he just loved it. And so that's pretty much where it started, and how Conor and I's relationship began. And then he wrote the script. We worked on it, beat by beat. Like him and I really worked on it together. So it's written by him, story by us. But yeah, no, his script is killer.
Yeah. So if that's the genesis of the project, like how it came together as this collaborative effort between you and Conor, I'm curious, like what aspects of your own experience with O.C.D. did you put into the story? Because I think from watching it, I think it's a very interesting portrayal of something that I'm not really super familiar with. The only thing that I can honestly compare it to in terms of like similar depictions of OCD is Turtles All the Way Down. If you're familiar with that story by John Green.
John Green, right?
Yeah. I think that's sort of my only window into sort of like an authentic or accurate portrayal of OCD. And I think that you sort of did the same thing, translated into sort of like absurdist comedy film. And I'm curious, like what aspects of the experience did you put into it?
A lot of it, honestly. Conor and I, it was kind of like we created like a super OCD at the movie with the character Owen. It was Conor had a string that he had kept with him when he was younger, so it's very similar to the string of doom in the film.
Right.
And then for me, it was constant thoughts about my mom leaving the stove on and blowing up the house, and having cancer constantly, and feeling like, well, if I did this, then I could have prevented why I'm here. Because that's kind of what OCD is, and what people don't really understand is people think it's about being neat and tidy, but really it's about the intention behind a compulsion. So if I, there's something in my room or I need to fix it, it's almost why I'm doing it rather than I'm just, it looks nice,
Interesting.
So that was kind of, we really implemented a lot of our own experiences with OCD into the film. And our approach always with anything is to just be able to laugh at yourself. I mean, life is really silly in a lot of ways.
It is.
I mean, it's
not always that serious.
No, it's like it's really stupid if you think about it. So it's like, it's just fun to be able to poke fun at yourself. And it is, in a way, healing. It's kind of therapeutic to be able to do something like that and be able to laugh at yourself. And that was kind of our approach with the film.
You worked with Raz, right? That was the lead guy.
Yeah.
He's your friend. You were telling us a little bit
My best bud, yeah. One of them.
So
shout out to Raz.
Shout out to Ryan, too.
Was he always the one you had in mind? Like, as you were writing it with Conor, you're like, Raz are we writing it for him? Or it was more of like, let me just write it as how I envisioned this character? Or when Conor was were you giving him feedback, I guess, in that sense? But was Raz always like the go-to? You're like, kind of like, maybe.
Yeah, it was definitely look, I worked with Raz forever. So like him and I have worked on countless projects. And the way that I've always been is I still, even if you are my friend, I still want to have you audition for the role. This is very different from what Raz is typically used to in terms of acting. So I wanted to see how he could do it. He was definitely someone I had in mind, but not someone we wrote the film for. And we had multiple actors audition that did like really killer self-tapes. Raz, I think in particular, he also has OCD. So we're like really like three.
Wow.
So you guys kind of
Yeah.
all
It's
were
a little
like,
trio.
we connect with this.
Yeah.
So okay.
And so I think he understood it from a different level that helped him elevate the character when he was performing. So when I saw Raz's tape, I knew he was able to do that, because it is a little bit different, because it's definitely very dramatic, very serious, but it's also funny in a lot of ways, and you have to be able to sell that. And yeah, he did a fantastic job. The only actor that we had written a part for was Steven, who plays the agent.
Yes.
And he was somebody who we were like, we're not getting this guy. Like Steven is, he's an actor who I've really looked up to for a long time. I've always wanted to work with him. And I was just like, can I cuss on here?
Oh, yeah,
Go for it.
Yeah. I was like, fuck it, man. Like, there's no point of not reaching out to the people we want to reach out to. And so we reached out to Steven, and he loved the script, absolutely loved it. We met, awesome. And then he was, now the rest is history.
That's super cool. That's super cool.
I mean, I guess on that, like, kind of want to detour to you and like your, like, not just the film, but like your career in general. We were talking earlier that you're like very like, kind of like not afraid to like go up to anybody you want to work with, like not, I guess, like have that stigma of like, oh, they're like on a different level with their career. Like we were talking about your friend who did sound for O.C.D, right?
Ando Johnson. Yeah. No, Ando was somebody who I was telling you earlier. I had met him at a party, and I asked him what he does, and he's like, I'm a sound designer. I was like, oh, cool. Like, always looking for sound designers. And I was like, what have you worked on recently? And he's like, Into the Spider-Verse and Mufasa. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I'll call you in 10 years. But I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to send it to him. I sent him the film. I was like, hey, man, I don't know if you know anybody. Like, it was kind of my way of being like, can you watch it and see if you like it? Right. But I was like, I don't know if you know anybody, but tell me what you think. And he was like, dude, this is one of my favorite shorts. Like, I love this.
Very clever.
And I want to do it. And the sound is honestly one of the craziest parts about O.C.D for me. Obviously, everyone did like a phenomenal job, but this is the first time in a film that I've had, I mean, like professional, like, this guy is at the top of his game doing sound and everything. Because in terms of the post-production stuff, it's mainly just me. So I'd love to find the Ando version of an editor and get someone in to take that job. But I haven't found that person. But in terms of post-production, it's just one of my favorite parts.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I guess composing. Did you have a composer, I assume?
Alexander Arntzen is a goat. He's
sounds so good.
No, Alexander is an incredible guy. He's honestly kind of a genius. Like, when you meet him, it's so funny because when I had first met him, I met him when I was like 17 or 18. It was a long time ago. And he reached out to me because I had a film of mine play at Burbank Film Festival. And he was like, hey, I loved your movie, would love to chat. And so we chatted, and I ended up working with him on a film called Gold. And it was pretty much ever since then we have been working together. But he's so unreal, like his workflow. So I sent him O.C.D, and I was like, this is where I want the cues and everything. And it was like 4 days later, I mean, he had a score.
No way.
And it's not like crazy. No, and it doesn't make sense. And you would think, right? Like, it would sound like, because you're like, okay, man, like
who's gonna do all that stuff in 4 days?
But he's so good, and the score that he sent me was incredible. It's not the score in the film, but it was an incredible score. And I was just like, I think it's great. It leans a little too dark. I wanted to have a little more levity and comedic.
Change the tone a little bit.
Exactly,
Yes,
tonally, because the music kind of carries the tone all the way through. And so he was like, yeah, got it. Got me another score in like 4 days. And it's an insane, he's just one of those guys. He's so good. He's been doing it for so long that he just knows exactly what to do. And it's just like no time wasted.
That's really cool. Awesome. The music was one of my favorite parts of the film. Easy. Like it was I think, like you said, similar to the sound design, really sort of like elevating and making it feel like real,
exactly.
making it feel very intense. The score does the exact same. I think the sound in the entire movie is just beautiful.
Yeah, no, 100%. The sound is definitely one of my favorite parts for sure.
It's also like really funny, like the acting.
Yeah.
I love it, like how dramatic it is. I mean, I assume that's probably how I feel sometimes when somebody has OCD. Maybe that's
right.
Yeah. But yeah, really good, and the color is also beautiful.
Ben Cichowski, shout out.
So beautiful.
I have a really killer team. I mean, really, everybody who lended a hand on the film, from the color to the sound to the music, producing, everybody is just like was firing on all cylinders. It really did a fantastic job.
When did you guys shoot this? You know the date?
I think we started October. What is it? 2025, 2023. I think.
Wow.
I think.
Wow.
And then we finished early 2024 because we had started in 2023 at the end of the year, and then Steven, I reached out to him and we were able to kind of get in touch. We met up like 4 or 5 times before to work on character and everything, and then he had a scheduling conflict that came up, and so we were supposed to shoot in December, and then it got pushed back to like mid to late January. Right. And so I think by the time we were all said and done, it was by February last year, and then edited by March or April, and then we did the whole festival run last year.
Amazing. That's so cool.
Okay.
What was the festival run like, if you don't mind me asking?
Festival run was awesome. It was the best festival run I've had. We were super lucky. We started the LA short, so we premiered in LA, which was really fun. It was like a sold out crowd. Nice. It was just, it was awesome. And then I can't remember exactly what we did after that, but we went to South by Southwest in Australia. So we went to South by Southwest Sydney, which is cool. I love Australia. Shout out. And then we went to Nashville, did the Nashville Film Festival, did Beverly Hills.
You're like traveling around the world.
We did. Yeah, it was fun, man. It was fun. It was a good excuse to get out and just meet some other filmmakers across the world. And it was a coolest experience. Like even in Australia, I made some friends over there that we went out, we hung out, and it was super fun. It was an incredible experience.
I'm actually very curious about the festival run in particular, because I'm also a filmmaker, and I'm kind of going to submit my next film in festivals probably in a month or something.
Yeah.
Is this all through Film Freeway, or just like particular festivals like my friends recommended me to apply to, like submit my stuff to? How was that? All Film Freeway or just?
Yeah, all Film Freeway. So Film Freeway, there's only certain festivals. I know South by Southwest Austin, they don't do through Film Freeway, but South by Southwest Sydney is on Film Freeway. So you can honestly hit a majority of the festivals, especially like the bigger festivals. You could do all those through Film Freeway. I think the thing that a lot of people overlook on Film Freeway when you're submitting is making sure you have a solid EPK, like the electronic press kit, having everything in there, making sure all your information is filled out, having a good trailer, a good poster, and then having a good cover letter and making a cover letter per festival. And so, when you're sending to, a festival that maybe you've attended but you've never been a part of, you can always mention that in your cover letter and be like, hey, I was here like last year. I mean, sometimes I just say that even if I've never been. But
cool trick.
Yeah, great trick, But I having some sort of personal connection to the festival definitely helps you get past that first wave of submissions, because you kind of cut through a little bit. And yeah, that I think is something that you definitely need to focus on. Cover letters, EPKs, posters, trailer. It's really the whole package. And the more complete the package is, the easier it is to say yes. And also having a shorter film helps. If your film is like 30 minutes, I used to only make 30-minute shorts, and O.C.D is the shortest short I made. And it has worked out, I think. And not only do I think it's the best film I've made, but also I think that does help, because it's easier to program. And we have a
30-minute exactly for people just trying to find you. Yeah.
No, exactly. And if you have a 2-hour block and you're 30 minutes of that block, you're taking up like 15-20% of it. They don't typically, unless it's really, really solid, they typically like to keep shorter films in.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. How did you learn the sort of like logistics of film festival submission? Is that something that you worked with a producer on, or is that something that you sort of figure it out yourself?
Spending a lot of money and wasting it. That's really the goal.
It's expensive. I've seen like the deadlines in there.
Oh, it's crazy. Like I said, I've been doing this for close to 10, 12 years, and I started out when I made my first short. I was like, I'm gonna submit to Sundance, I'm gonna submit to this, and it rejected, obviously. But submitting to all those festivals and slowly learning and like meeting people at festivals, and then speaking to festival coordinators, they'll kind of tell you in some way. It's just really a trial and error. Like I feel like at this stage, I'm definitely very familiar with the festival game and how to submit and how to get the best chances.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely trial and error.
Super interesting. Wow.
I'm also very curious about the exposure O.C.D got. Like I saw like 2 million views on YouTube.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
It's cool, man. I mean, like, if I don't feel any different, I think it's nice to see that our work has resonated with so many people. Not only on YouTube, the YouTube was amazing, but even on TikTok, I think we got near 40 million views on TikTok between my own page and also other filmmakers like or other TikTok content creators like Bryce Vaughn, Kodak Cameron. A bunch of people made videos and shared it, which like helped us exponentially. And even a streamer, I'm Dante, he streamed it and he had like 100,000 people watching it live. That also kind of propelled us in a lot of ways.
Are these people you've like hit up to like, hey, can you check out my film? Do you want to review it? Or are these people who just like found it?
Or is it organic?
This was organic, so which was really, it was fun because it would be in the middle of the night. You know, someone would be like, dude, this guy's like reacting to your shit. I know what, like, you know, and like you jump on Twitch or like go on TikTok. So it was cool. The only person who I have a personal connection with is Kodak Cameron. He's a super cool dude. Cameron's sick, and I've sent him the film. But other than that, all the TikTok people that made videos. I mean, there's countless videos on TikTok, tons of reactions on YouTube. Those are all just organic.
And you're pretty big on TikTok. I heard you.
I wouldn't say big, but yeah, like I'd say like we've been really lucky that we've had I think a nice community of people that follow us, and it's definitely helped us, and it also has helped in the festival game. I was gonna say too, because submitting to the festivals and being like, I have this audience, this is how many people are interested in seeing the film. It also tells the festival that if you were to screen it, then there's a potential that people are going to come buy tickets because I have that sort of reach. So it definitely use it to your advantage. I mean, that's the one thing I would say is if you're a filmmaker, you got to be on TikTok. You got to do something, something on social media. I've been, like I said, I've been doing it forever. Every festival I've been to, I love them all. Like, they're all great. But sometimes you'll go to them, even like Oscar qualifying ones, and you'll meet like a weird agent who's like, yeah, I'm an agent, you know, like not really. But then TikTok, it was the first 3 months I was hit up by an agency, like a legitimate agency in Hollywood, and was able to actually make connections and network on 3 months of TikTok. So it was really completely different.
I totally get on it. I also was gonna ask, are you like happy how the film was received? Like, has anything changed like after making O.C.D film and now that's been out on YouTube for a while? Like, has anything changed? Like, do you approach filmmaking differently? Like the way people like reacted to it? You're like, do you feel pressure now for your next thing, or how's that looking over there?
No, I don't feel any pressure. I don't think I really think about it. You know, when it comes to the social media elements of it, I was really lucky. Our co-producer Bridget over there.
We love Bridget.
We love Bridget.
She's the best.
Shout out Bridget.
She has helped me like on social media, because it was something, especially on like Instagram, like figuring out the whole format and timeline, and even with TikTok and kind of like getting the film out there, she really helped a lot. But with all the TikTok content we filmed, I didn't focus on any of that. When I was on set, she was focusing on filming and doing like producer duties as well. And that really helped take the weight off, because I wouldn't be able to focus on filming TikToks and making a movie, because the movie's
like directing something.
Exactly.
Hold on, guys. TikTok time.
No, the movie's my priority, and I used to do that, not with TikTok, but I used to juggle way too many
all these
jobs.
things.
And it takes away a lot from the film. It takes away a lot from the actors. As a director, you want to be standing right next to the actors. You want to be working with them.
Prioritize them.
Exactly. And when you're focusing on stuff like that, it's just you're preoccupied. So I don't really focus on it, and I think the success it's had online has been very nice. You sort of feel like, in a way, there was people that we had sent the film to, I won't name, that didn't like it. And
you always have that.
From a script basis, they said conceptually it wouldn't work, and I was like, I know it's gonna work. And when it does that, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, just a little bit. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really change anything. I'm still approaching filmmaking the same. I'm still learning, and that's kind of the thing, is there will be people that comment, they're like, oh, how does it feel that you made it? I'm like, I didn't make it, man. Like, I'm in the same boat. Like, I'm figuring it out, you know? And so it's just about continue to chip away, grow, and just continue to work.
Yeah,
totally.
As a director, I'm curious, like, how was the process for you? Like, do you like do a lot of like director's homework? Are you like working a lot with your actors? Are you rehearsing beforehand? What's that looking for you as a director?
I think for me, the thing that like I've told you before, I never did film school. So when I was a kid, I had no idea what directing meant. I was like,
Yeah.
what the f does this
Sounds
mean?
cool.
Yeah.
What is it?
It sounds really cool. Like, what's the job? You know,
Yeah.
like what do you actually have to do? And what you learn is that truly everyone is just so different. You know, you can go to all the greats, and even Kubrick, for instance, never gave notes. He was just like, do it again. It's not right. And that would be the extent of his notes. That's not something that I personally works for me, but every director finds their workflow and what works best for them. So I don't think you have to kind of fit into a box of like a director needs to do this, a director needs to do that.
Yeah.
I do think a director needs to be the beacon for the project, and they're kind of like the captain of the ship. So you need
It's a
to
great
make
analogy.
sure.
I like that.
Yeah,
The
and you need
beacon.
to make sure that everyone is comfortable on set, everyone, you know, feels supported, and that your actors feel safe, because acting is a super vulnerable thing. At the end of the day, acting is, I mean, I've done it. It's kind of embarrassing, like to
It
be in
is,
front of a
yeah.
camera and, you know,
this huge crew of, you know, just
Exactly.
looking at you.
no, exactly.
The pressure's on you.
I know.
Delivering these lines.
And so I think making your actors feel safe is really important, because if they feel safe, then they feel comfortable to explore. And that's where you find the magic. So in terms of like homework and certain things, I definitely love rehearsing. I don't love over rehearsing. I think it's good to meet up with the actors, especially if the actors have a relationship. So with O.C.D, Raz and Ariel, who are boyfriend and girlfriend in the film, I wanted them to meet because I wanted them to feel like comfortable,
Right.
even though they're only on the phone.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want them to
yeah.
have like some sort of, you know, relationship,
Yeah,
friendship, to where it feels like, okay, you know, even though they're not talking to each other, it feels kind
Totally.
of natural. But with Steven had never met Raz before, and I kind of wanted to keep that in a way away from Raz.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
And so when he meets him for the first time on set,
Right.
because Steven is kind of an intimidating guy.
yeah,
like,
like he's like
he's an absolute sweetheart. Like he's an amazing human being. But he, you know, he's super tall, and he's just
Yeah.
like, sometimes, like, especially when he's in character, he's super intense.
Yeah.
And so having that reaction firsthand on set, where like Raz wasn't comfortable with Steven, I think
Very
benefited to
clever.
Raz's reaction.
yeah,
I
so
like
I
like
that.
this stranger to me, like how that
Exactly.
comes across
I
in the
like
film.
that.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So I think that's important, to be really intentional with how you want to introduce your actors, or how
Right.
you want to do rehearsing. And even with rehearsing, like I said, if you over rehearse it, then it just sounds robotic. And
Of course.
and the beauty is when you're on set is playing, and that's what I
Yeah.
love. And I love like improving. I love having fun
Changing,
and
yeah.
hey, try this, even though like we're probably not going to use that. Try that, and then you never know, and you find something, you're like, oh shit, that was amazing. You know, so I think that's about the extent of what I do. But on the producer front, I'm definitely like a psycho meticulous person. Everything needs to be, you know,
This way, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
But, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. What's next for you? Have you thought about that? Have you been working already on other stuff, other like films, or you know,
Yeah.
look out for like that next script that you want to direct?
Yeah, we're working on something now, and so right now the kind of goal would be to work on a feature. So like a feature has always been kind of my
plan.
dream.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, I'm still doing the dream. I'm making movies, albeit short movies, but it still is a movie. It still is storytelling.
Yeah.
So I don't like to diminish short films and say that short films aren't enough, but definitely long form filmmaking is where I want
Is
to
the
be.
dream for you.
Definitely.
Right. I get that.
So working on a feature, we had written a feature for O.C.D, and we want to go out and pitch it. And I think right now it's a little difficult. It's a difficult time in the industry, especially for
Right.
independent filmmakers getting funding. And the type of person I've always been is just like, is very like a fuck it type person. So I have
Just go for it. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And so I've spoken to a lot of my friends, producer friends, and we've kind of all agreed that it's just like, look, if we can't get something made, why can't we make it ourselves? We've already made, 30-minute movies before. That's like almost like half a feature right there, or a third of a feature. So if we can't get our own thing off the ground from an industry perspective, we're definitely going to go the independent route and like solo produce it and solo figure that out. But we have a couple projects that we're working on now that we're really excited about. I won't say anything yet, but they're
you can-
very cool.
I think that mindset of like, wanting to do everything on your own, if you're not given the resources by the higher ups, the powers that be, in quotes. I think that spirit comes a lot from, our generation being raised heavily online, right? And
Yeah.
having these inspirations that are not just, the Stanley Kubricks or Steven Spielbergs of the world, but also like, like YouTubers and having this world that you've built on social media. I think incentivizes and sort of like emphasizes the importance of doing things on your own, because sometimes, you know, being raised online, you know that sometimes there's no other way to do it. And I think
100%.
that's really cool.
100%. And also too, you know, I come from an immigrant family, and my dad's from Italy, and so, you know, he came to this country not speaking the language and has kind of built a good life for himself. And so it's something that having like someone like that, if he was able to come here not speaking the language and do this, and I'm already here, I know the language, I go to school, I have a roof over my head, then I'm like, oh, you know, I gotta get moving.
Totally.
Yeah.
I really love your ambition. Just having you also hear like the fact that you didn't go to film school and you having like to make those connections and build yourself up to this.
Yeah.
It's really, all about moving. It's all
really
about moving.
inspiring, you know. The fact that you don't need that, you know, you can just like go for it what you want.
100% agreed.
Do you have any, I guess, any like advice for any like upcoming directors, cinematographers out there who like look up to you and like have seen O.C.D and they're like, oh my God, I want to do something like that one day? Any tips to them?
Yeah, I you know, like I said, I'm not the Baron on giving advice, just because I'm like I said, I'm still figuring it out. But one thing I will say is that when you're young, one of my friends, Antonio Del Prete, he's this amazing artist. He told me when I was like 16, the first movie I did was called Seeking Rebirth, and it was this kind of documentary in a way, but it was almost narrative. And he had told me, because I had explained, you know, I'm like, oh, I want to make all these movies, I want to do this and that, but I don't know, you know, I don't know if anyone's going to like them. And he's like, you don't have a boss, so why are you worried about what people think? You know, just make the fucking thing, make it. And if it's bad, let it be bad. And that's also like how you grow. Like, I've made tons of bad movies that you'll never see. Like, they're online. And I mean, maybe all of them are bad, I don't know. But the ones that, you know, I had made that aren't up to my standards now, those were stepping stones to get me to where I am.
Of course,
you got to make a bad movie before you can make a good movie, and I wholeheartedly believe that. And so not to hold yourself back and not to be worried about what other people think. I think that's something that really kills this generation. A lot of people are too worried with, you know, if I post
being
this
out there, like, oh, that's cringy.
Well, exactly. There's this thing they call it, like, I don't know if you know, it's called like Cringe Mountain or something. Have you ever heard that?
I feel like I have.
It's basically like when you're climbing it, like if you first start posting to social media, you're like, I'm gonna start a TikTok. You first start posting and it gets like 10 views, and like all the people in your contacts are the 10 views, and they're like, oh, this is like, what is he doing? Like, whatever. And then it's like super duper cringe, and then it gets a little less cringe, and then once you get to the top of the mountain and you go over, and then people are watching your shit and people are actually reacting to your shit, and you have like an audience, it's not cringe anymore.
And now
you know,
suddenly, oh, you have all these eyes on
it's like, oh, that's so cool, man. Like, I always supported you, even though in the beginning it's like, you were fucking cringe, you know what I mean? So you have to be okay with being cringe. You have to be okay with like putting yourself out there. And like, I really, I've had that kind of mindset for the longest time. Like, I just don't really care. Like, if people find it, you know, it's just, you just not do you and what makes you happy. And making a movie, I think the most important thing to remember is you're making the movie for you. Like you're the audience member. Why are you making the movie? Because you want to see a movie like that.
You're always the first eyes on, and
exactly. And that's why I'm making it. Like, O.C.D is a movie I wanted to see. You know, that's why I made O.C.D. And so whether it had gotten, you know, 5 views, 5,000, 2 million, it didn't really make a difference to me or Conor, where we said, you know, we just made something that we loved, that we believed in, that we felt like, you know, we needed to create, and that is the success. It's not really the views and the accolades. All that stuff is a nice cherry on top, but it's not what we chase.
I'm curious. So I'm curious about, like, you know, when it comes to the audience reaction, when it comes to the way that even people in the festival sort of like receive the film. Have you gotten any I guess compliments or any praise for sort of the portrayal of O.C.D and the angle on mental health? Just because, you know, to me, I think again, I was sort of viewing it as that first, and maybe that's like the wrong way to look at it, but I'm just curious if people have sort of given you any feedback on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think the one thing that was really surprising to Conor and I was the amount of comments that we had from people with O.C.D that were like, there was comments that we had of people saying that they had, like, they were crying and they had never felt so represented and seen that something, because I think OCD a lot of ways is portrayed in movies as like the psycho serial killer, you know, setting up his like knives and like everything in a perfect order, you know, and like it definitely make for a good character. But like I think a lot of times like people don't really understand what OCD is like the internal battle. And I think making a movie that is like an OCD movie where it's very serious and very dark is just not me. Like I'm not a serious dark guy. Like I love joking. Comedy for me is like one of my favorite things. And so doing something that is very much me and like showcasing something that me and Conor and like, you know, tons of other people deal with is like I said, it was really kind of therapeutic for us. And surprisingly online, I think we were a little worried because we were like, we don't want people to feel upset, you know, if we're like making fun of them, even though it's like our thing too. But we don't want to, you know, come across that way. Serious. Exactly. And online, like I said, the response has just been amazing. We were able to chat with like O.C.D, which is a podcast that they had like Hank Green and like Howie Mandel on, and they're like an OCD community and website that like diagnoses OCD. And so I mean, to get to that level, we were like, holy shit, you know, I didn't think that it would get to there, but it was definitely very nice, and it's been very nice to hear people having those reactions online. Sort of just to, you know, sorry to get back to sort of like the mental. I don't think that your film is trying to, you know, to communicate some sort of like specific message. I don't think your film has an agenda, but I do think that the mental health portrayal and the messaging of it is to an extent one of the strongest elements, and really beautiful that you were able to sort of pull that off with a great story and with you know with great technical and artistic achievement. Like it's really cool. Really I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, wouldn't been able to make it without the amazing crew. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's so good. Like every aspect about the film is just really good. So keep it coming. Keep it coming. Luca, we love you. Luca, you're the best. Well, yeah, I'm excited to see what you do next. We both are. We both are. You have my eyes. I feel like a lot of people. You have a lot of eyes on you now. Thank you. Yeah. Hopefully that's good. That's cool. You know. But yeah, I don't know if you had any last minute questions. Yeah, if I'm actually pretty good. Was there anything? Did you want to leave us off on anything, Luca? On anything? Just go watch a movie, man. Go watch more movies. That's so real. Go watch O.C.D. again. We'll link it in the. Oh yeah. Check out his channel, his TikTok, his socials. Are you excited for any movies coming out soon? Do you have like a favorite genre, favorite something? Favorite movies coming out, man. I feel like I want to see the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie. It looks like weird and like different, but I like that it's not so. I'm not really big into like the superhero movies or anything. I don't have anything against them. It's just like I feel like I don't know why I just can't really buy into it. Right. That's valid. But I like movies that take risks, and I think that for me is like the most interesting. And so like the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie looks the most different out of the things I've seen. But honestly, I've been like off the grid for like a minute. Like I feel like I haven't watched like a bunch of movies. The one thing I will say is like I love watching. Like, have you guys been to New Beverly or like the Vista or like? I haven't gone. I'm gonna go see. My friend keeps asking. You gotta go. Our friend keeps on asking us. And we keep on saying, We'll go. Sign up for the American Cinematheque. This is not sponsored, but sign up for the American Cinematheque. It's amazing. You could see. No, good to know. The movies that I've been able to experience in theaters have been some of the most like beautiful experiences I've ever had. Seeing like It's a Wonderful Life on a 35mm print on Christmas Eve in the Egyptian theater is incredible to me. Or even seeing like Cool Hand Luke in a packed house. It's, you know, I'm a movie nerd. Like I love watching like old movies. So like that's something I'll leave off on. Go see it. What's that? We wouldn't be here if we weren't. 100%. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you again, Luca, for I'm gonna take up your offer. I'm gonna try the new bed. Absolutely. Take it. We'll do it together. Let's all go. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. There you go. Okay. That didn't happen. Cut that out. We're okay. No, that is staying in. That's 100% staying in. Thank you, Luca, for chatting with us. We appreciate you being here. Coming. You're awesome. You should come back. I want to see you now, maybe in a year or something. I'd love to come back. What changes? What's different? What's new? Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, everybody. Stay tuned for the next one. And follow his socials. Give him more love than he deserves all the love in the world. Follow them too. They're amazing. Follow Newbies. Newbies is sick. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. I'll see you. We'll see you in the next one. Bye. Bye.